So we successfully turned support into or resistance into new support here in the pre-market, which is really what this was speaking towards, the success card. It's also nullified, so the chart behavior, there's chart behavior that counter, it makes this successful resistance turned into support situation, it makes it like irrelevant because we decline back down through that support. And it looks like at the very end of the day we have this, in the last hour we have this opportunity where we revisit a support level in the midst of some sideways rotation. There should be a sharp dip, and we'll revisit a support level that was recently a past opportunity at that point. Looks like we're pretty close to doing that right now. Here's that sideways rotation. We should see a sharp dip. There might be a little bit of a crest right around the close, or a little bit just before the close, but not like a really significant crest, but there should be like a little crest there, and then we sell from that in the post-market. And we establish support in the morning. And so you can see, I talk about this quite often, but I probably haven't talked about it in a while. So you can see when you have like a trend that's really overbearing, like it's a stronger trend moving in one direction, sometimes you'll have these like a card with a contrary direction, kind of like null. It fails to like hold up its full strength. Like this looks like the sun card here around 2 o'clock, which also became, it had a correlation to the it had a correlation to the strife card, right, where we had this meeting of resistance followed by a decline with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. Looks like this might be the dip that I'm talking about, but we'll probably see a dip and RSI come down lower. We touched this end, right, and now we almost touched it, but they don't really count as reversal points, guys, in a lot of cases. I mean, they're usually like a little bit of a reversal, but it's not like the point at which something turns around. See, you can see here, we went from touching the upper end of RSI, and then we almost did, but we didn't. And then what happens? We actually touch the lower end, right? So you go from touching the higher end to touching the lower end to touching the higher end to almost touching the lower end. We should touch the lower end before we see the higher end again. To fill that gap there, which we did. And in some ways, gaps can end up holding back because it's like everybody's expecting the gap to be covered. Gaps are almost covered and almost always covered, guys. You know, so people expect the gap to get covered, and that kind of holds the price from going higher. But it's been covered now, so you know what? We should probably see something come out of that. Looking at the monthly, it doesn't look like something good comes out of it just yet. So we're still, in the grand scheme of things, we're still in this sideways fluctuating incline, represented by the chariot card, which has correlations on the 1-day readings. It has correlations from the 1st all the way through to the high on the 14th. Right, so that's a sideways fluctuation preceding a decline, and so we should see some like dips in the midst of this incline, but I still expect this going higher, and that's what this is about. If you're new to it, that we should see a price level within this range. Man, we really did take some big moves, though. I might have to move that range a little bit. Let me see here. You just hit a crest there. Hermes, are you sitting on my remote? Thank you. It's gonna be a pretty good month for SPC, that's for sure. It's looking pretty solid on the theme and sort of breakout here. Hey, Proof. Right, so like we should have like a little bit of a something like this tomorrow. Do we though? Yeah, it's looking pretty bearish overall. I mean, there's some rally in the morning. So on the 8th, we should see something in here, is my sense. This probably becomes support, which leads to a move to the upside, which offers an opportunity to open up a short position. Interesting. Yeah, so it looks like there's a high early in the day on the 7th, and it's an opportunity to short, but it's kind of be like an erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level throughout the day, and then there's the unicursal at the end of the day, which we need to be careful about. It either indicates that there's a peak there. It's a good short. It's a good place to short, or it means that there's a sharp decline right there at the end of the day. Looks like we're pretty much on point with this green circle, though, this green ellipse. Probably break out through in the month of March. There should be a breakout through this 640-ish level. And who knows how high we go once we break out through that. Right now, people are kind of like testing out. Are we bullish now? Have we made a reversal? It's kind of like some dancing around this 100-day moving average. But the March reading speaks of a notable breakout on a like year-to-date kind of scale. So breakout on a year-to-date kind of scale. Let's take a look. This is the year-to-date chart. We're not far from like the highs. I mean, like as far as a breakout is concerned, this has got to be. I mean, this is based on where we are now. It's like this price level roughly right here for 583. So we break out through that, we should see a notable move to the upside, like on a year-to-date kind of scale. May is looking kind of ugly. Most of May is looking kind of ugly. go, that'd be that dip at the end of the day, right? Here's that dip at the end of the day taking us to a support level that was recently past opportunity, which in the case of where we are now, we need to be like this price level roughly. Somewhere around here. I think I probably had center of the day as the low, but looking at it now, based on everything that happened, obviously we have a low here. There was a pretty notable trough midday, but it's that revisiting of a support level in that last hour with the Queen of Discs that's really stands out to me right now. So we come into that range, that ellipse range tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like we're about to fall through the floor right here. It's interesting. So that this volume card is like a new addition to the spread, kind of like testing it out. It indicates bullish volume overall, and you could see like most of the volume was bullish at the beginning of the day. We'll probably see some pretty big volume here as we enter the close, but I mean the majority of the day, the majority of the volume was bullish. So in the pre-market, we're going to establish support, and then there should be a notable move higher, followed by a retracement of that move back down, like a breakout through resistance, creating a peak, and then a decline back down. And then we establish, I think we might actually, there's a possibility that there's a high at the end of the day. The way that this is kind of like, there may be a high at the end of the day. I don't think this unicursal is a decline. I think it's a higher high that comes in maybe at the end of the day, because we have like this is all supporty here midday, and usually the Emperor card speaks of support that can be trusted, like it's a sound foundation of support. And then we get this big move at the end of the day with a selling off from overbought crest or peak around the close. That big move up at the end of the day might be a better opportunity than the Ace of Wands. But I will probably say I'd go with the Ace of Wands as far as the trade opportunity, because all of the trade signification is here. So go with the trade opportunity, and then we have another trade midday. So you could do like a short scalp actually here in the midst of this big move higher. You could open up a short position and close that short position when we're bouncing along support midday. Matter of fact, you could open up a long position when we're bouncing around support midday and probably close it there, but that's a little bit more risky. attempts to break through resistance after establishing support there. Then we have an important price level here. We see it again, important price level, important price level. I'm going to mark that off as a science card. Interesting. See, like there's the overall theme card, the strife, the rally into key resistance followed by a decline with consecutively lower spikes up. So we hit this resistance and then we decline with consecutively lower spikes up. This is also very typical of the strife card to see these moving averages in bearish kind of trajectory being utilized as resistance. So they're acting as resistance for these spikes up. I mean, I would say that this is probably an opportunity to open up a long position with the intent to close it there in the midst of that move early in the morning, like probably out of the open, big move early in the morning that probably starts to slow down around 10 o'clock. Again on the 9th. Tomorrow we should be within this range is my sense. Unless at the very end of the day we like fall off a cliff, then I would adjust where this is, but my sense is that somewhere around here, followed by the next day we should have a trough. We're going to revisit a crest in the midst of some erratic behavior. We'll revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. So chances are we revisit this price level again tomorrow of roughly 407.40-ish, 407.50, something like that. Probably see that price level again, and then it acts as unicursal or like a short-term like top. We have a decline the following day. Or a trough, I should say, the following day. Hey, Winesso. Thanks for the 411. That's good info. Uh, 10 o'clock is really, see this move here early in the morning, it stops around 10 o'clock, is my sense. But it's erratic. It's not like we just take a nosedive off of this like peak here. It's an opportunity here in the midst of this move higher to open up a short position for a short scalp, which you could close midday. Or you could open up a long position right now. The Queen of Discs can be utilized as sometimes as an opportunity card. It's not specifically an opportunity card. We revisit a past opportunity. Sometimes that past opportunity is still an opportunity. In the case of where we are right now in the chart, I would say there's an opportunity there to open up a long position and close it for like an overnight swing trade. And if I happen to be wrong, if the expiration on that long position is out past the 14th, you should be pretty safe because we have a high around the 14th. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, yeah. It'll definitely be a market mover tomorrow. Right, and so we have this move here. Interesting. So we have the Hierophant overlapping this energy here of the Princess of Discs. Princess of Discs is about money, it's about finance, it's not always just a support level. So it's a morning, it's talking about a morning that's having to do with finance, and then there's the Hierophant overarching correlation here, which is like a leader that's he's not as often seen in the news, but he's highlighted, and you could say that would be Powell in the case of the Hierophant. So this makes a lot of sense. And it's like a sideways fluctuating rally early in the morning. There's a good chance we have a higher price level at the end of the day, but I'm going to remain guided by this trade correlation here. I believe that's a science card that we might come up on there. We'll see. I didn't notate that. Science card here. Oops, I already did that. I'm annotating. Interesting. It's kind of like on the cusp of the 14th, 15th. I'm leaning towards the 14th, but it's kind of on the cusp there, the 14th, 15th. Let me see. Nullifications. What a difficult reading this will be to read. And there was the Devil card also was clairvoyant impression before flipping it. So that's there'll be an important fake out here. Matter of fact, it might end up being on the 13th. So we have the Ace of Swords there. On the 13th, we have the Ace of Swords as a theme card. Why do I not have that on there? And then we have Ace of Swords again on the 15th. That's why I don't have it on there, because I don't want to get confused. I think it's probably on the 15th. This is where we have 4 aces come into play as well. There's 4 aces in this reading. Very, very rare to see 4 aces in the reading. I think I saw it once or twice before. I know there was once at the very end of the year we had 4 aces in a row. Or maybe that's in a prediction for this month actually. But there's a lot going on there. Hard to determine when SO it is. It's a very difficult reading, the 14th. And then we've got an Ace of Swords on this end, and we've got an Ace of Swords on this end. Why is the Ace of Swords so relevant? Because on the 1 month here, we have the Ace of Swords for the 14th. It's usually a very like a top. It's not always, but it's often a top indicator on the 1 months. So the correlations on the dailies, there's one on the 13th, and then there's one on the 15th. Stronger correlation on the 13th, though. We might see the same price level on the 13th, on the 15th. On the 15th that we see on the 13th. It could be like 3 days of bumping around like a top here. But the 14th is a really difficult reading. It's one of the more difficult readings I've had, just based on the fact that there's so little, like there's 3 nullifications, there's so little data as far as events on the timeline. And look at that, we've got the pleasure card there, which is the 13th. Okay, so we probably see a higher price level on the 14th than we see on the 13th, which would make the 15th probably the high. I'd say the 15th is probably the high. We have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands here, both very toppy. Oops. Both very toppy and also very important in this situation here where we have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands indicate like at the top, and the combination of the two together we find them here in the 15th. So my sense is this is the day at this Ace of Swords. So probably matter of fact, first thing in the morning, and then we probably see it again early afternoon. There's going to be a couple places in here where you could call the top. (2 p.m. on the 14th). Let's see. Oh, there's a total pop and drop there. That's the devil. That's the devil. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got this devil clairvoyance thing. Sometimes when I'm shuffling before I lay the cards out, I'll get an impression of one of the cards, giving it like extra info or giving it extra gravitas, if you will. And so in the case of this reading, I got the devil card, and then the devil card came up as a theme. After shuffling, devil card came up as a theme. You can verify that in the shuffle file for this reading, and that fake out, I think, is here at the end of the day, because there's like this establishment of support. In the last 2 hours, it looks like there's this establishment of support, followed by a notable move to the upside, followed by the establishment of support. And that notable move to the upside looks like probably around 215-ish. But then in the last hour, I'm advised not to chase that rally. And we see that brewing again here. Don't chase the rally. So we're like topping off on 13th, 14th, 15th, it looks like. And so like at 2 o'clock, there's like probably some good info that comes out maybe. Or whatever it is, the reaction to the CPI is going to be pretty bullish, but it's like temporarily bullish and then it becomes bearish pretty significantly. Yeah, it's definitely looking like a pop and drop right there. But again, guys, this is a good opportunity if you want to do like an overnight trade, so you're not ending up with a day trade. There's a day trade tomorrow, but there's also an overnight trade. Right, you could open up. I mean, we might go a little lower, but we're pretty close to this, to where I expected us to go. Let's see. Yeah. So like this would be an opportunity to open up a long position to close the following morning. In the midst of this move higher, we'll break through resistance momentarily, followed by a retracement of that move, full retracement of that move back down. Then it looks like we probably have another high towards the end of the day, maybe two. It's erratic behavior back and forth, but that would be the close, the exit, the long position for an overnight trade. You can also open up a short position in the midst of this. I would say if you want to do this overnight trade and you're doing options, you want an expiration out past the 14th. That'll keep you safe in case we end up gapping down or something like that, in case I'm wrong. But that's what I would look for, an overnight trade there to the upside. And then when I make the close that trade to the upside around 10 o'clock, I would open a short position, close the short position when we're rotating sideways along support midday. Might be another trade in there midday, open up a long position, close it at the close, but that's getting kind of risky. Best trade right now, best trade that I see right now is to open up a long position in the midst of this low. Again, guys, we might go lower, but we should open up higher tomorrow, establish support, and then there's this big move first thing in the morning. That's where I would close out of the long position, and to be safe, again, I would want to make sure that expiration on the long position was out past the, let's say past the 17th. It's kind of close, but there should be an opportunity on 13th, 14th, 15th, somewhere around there. To, if this ends up being wrong and we don't have this move higher tomorrow, you would have an opportunity before expiration to close it out at a profit, most likely. Expiration's important. I'm going to mark that off as the low for the month. That's not going to hold because it's the wrong chart, but that's the low thus far this month. And then sorry, no, that's not the low thus far this month. This is the low thus far this month. So we should see a lower price level on the 13th in SPC8. than this price level here, provided everything goes according to plan, right? And then we have this big move out of there. Yeah, see now there's a big spike in bullish behavior here, right? So, like I said, there would be like a crest right around the close that we sell off from into the post market. This is that crest, it looks like. We got 17 minutes left. But it looks like this volume card held true today as well. Volume cards are kind of like a test. I'm testing them out. It's a new part of the reading. Probably go higher. I mean, it's overbought. It's not near overbought. It's overbought, and it's a brief peak that's easily missed. shows me an MGM chart. That would be nice. It's still showing me SP. I feel like this is SPY's chart. This is MGM's chart. It didn't change. Good old E-Trade. I wonder if we end up having a high over here on the 13th, 14th with the market. I have a feeling we end up with a high over here. I'm not sure if I said that in the reading, but let's mark that off. Where did this come from? I think this must have been an accident. I'm going to make this a little wider too. Oh, that... somehow that got messed up before. That's how it should have been. Over here. Like that, right? I'm gonna make this a little longer too because we've gone up so much. Something like that. So we're going to the upside here. With 9 minutes left, we should sell from this peak or crest. We should sell back down into the post market, but then the following day we have some price level above, and then it looks like we decline. It's a choppy day tomorrow. Choppy day. So if you did go ahead and open up that long position there, ideally you'd want to close in the first half hour in the midst of a move to the upside. Don't wait too long because it turns around, it gets kind of choppy. You're looking for a move higher through key resistance on a one-day chart, followed by a break back down through that same price level shortly thereafter with a full retracement. So when you break out through that resistance, that's probably where I'd say exit out. And let's say you missed that opportunity. For whatever reason, you missed the opportunity to sell, or you hesitate. If you've got an expiration out past the 17th, you should be good. You might even have another opportunity at the end of the day to close out of them. It's hard to say. There's a lot going on. But that's the best bet. If you open up that long position, or maybe you might get another opportunity right before the close if we turn around here. I know we turn around at a peak or crest right around the close, but maybe you get a little bit of a price opportunity before that 7 minutes is up. If we get into these price levels again, I would say use the opportunity if you haven't to open up long positions so you could close it over tomorrow morning in the morning. Just make sure you get that expiration out past the 17th. In case we're wrong, we can have some other opportunities to close out at a profit. With that said, guys, I think I'm going to roll. Any last questions or anything you want to take a look at? Really appreciate your support, guys. Proof, Winesso, everybody watching. Proof and Winesso, the two of you are financially supporting the channel, so I really do appreciate that, my friends. Maybe. Appreciate you too. Should you sell your MGM puts now or wait till tomorrow? Where's that MGM? I'd wait till tomorrow. Unless you got a good profit. I mean, probably don't have a good profit. I would probably wait till tomorrow. But it looks like there's probably a crest in here. I'm not sure if I predicted that or not, but it looks like this might follow suit with the S&P reading. Whereas with this X indicator here, this X ruin, what's the name of this ruin? I'm trying to learn the names. Gifu. Sometimes that'll represent a high or a low. And we have a low correlation to the S&P here on the 23rd. I would say probably close out of those tomorrow. Probably midday. Might even be a better opportunity. I'd say go with tomorrow. There's a trade opportunity there midday, it looks like. a good place to short MGM would be on the 15th for like an overnight trade. I think probably sell midday. It's hard to determine that specifically without daily readings, like by the hour. But from what I can sense, there's a bit of a reversal midday. This low correlator might end up actually being here because this is kind of a bullish day. I'd say tomorrow midday is probably your best bet with MGM. Any other questions, guys? Guys, if you're ever in New York City, don't be these jerks. It's called noise pollution. Like, people live in Manhattan and they have to deal with these jerk-offs every single day. It's tiresome. Don't pollute with sound, because it is pollution. What was I gonna do here? Like, if you see this price level here, 44.63 tomorrow, I'd probably exit at that level. Just to be safe. It might go lower, but to be safe, I'd probably exit there at that 44.67-ish range. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. I'll be right back. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Alright, my friends, I'm gonna roll. Thank you, as always, for watching. Make sure to follow that rule of karma. Channel needs you, universe needs you, your own karmic soul needs you. So follow that rule of karma. Make sure you spend that money out of love. The universe is